Good morning to you. It's great to see you here. Good morning to you. You're someone we can cheer. Hooray. Good morning to you. Singing clear and loud. Good morning to you. You really make us proud.
Welcome back to week 6 of Space to Create. This is the final week with me and Yair, and we've got our guest artist Anna again doing a drawing date with you. We will really miss having these sessions with you. We hope you've enjoyed them and that they've given you some fun ideas that you might be able to carry on into the summer weeks. Over the summer holidays, you might be able to watch the videos again and give some things a go that you hadn't tried before. Hopefully you'll get back to school soon and see all your friends and everything will get back to normal. Until then, we'll be thinking about you and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.
Hello, welcome back to the final episode for now of Magic Make. Nice to have you back, and today's episode is all about creating sounds from things that are not necessarily considered instruments or musical instruments. In other words, you can call it junk orchestra, and if you look at our resource sheet you can get some examples of music to check on YouTube, if you like, of artists using household and kitchenware equipment and stuff like that to create art with. So a couple of examples of real instruments that were made homemade and still work as instruments. For example, this is a cigar box that my friend made into a proper guitar, which you can actually plug in and it can sound pretty loud. But that's the original box, and he attached strings and made a neck and created this amazing guitar. And it sounds even more amazing when it's plugged in. Another example would be this instrument here that I called bass xylophone. And it's basically a wooden box with a key, like a xylophone key, attached to it, and the size of it is what makes of it that sound, the size and how deep and thick the wood is. And for example, another one which will sound a little bit higher in a note will be this one, because it's a bit smaller. So in comparison, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we can create music and sound by using things we find at home. So cardboard boxes, polystyrene, they all make different sounds, and it all depends on how we use them. And it's true that a lot of it is about percussion and drumming, but some of it, and I'll show you exactly what I mean by that, some of it we can create different pitch, different tones, still using nothing but kitchenware and water. How is water affecting the sound? This is our first experiment. So for that, I'd like you to bring 4 glasses from your kitchen, but please remember that we're not going to create too much chaos. We're not going to break anything. We're going to be careful on fragile things. It's all about experimenting and having fun, but safely. So I chose these glasses, and I'm using 4 of the same type of glass. right now they either don't have or have a tiny bit of water in them, but what we're going to do is, hopefully you can see a little bit of that, is I've got a bottle here, a glass bottle with water, and I'm going to pour water to some of the glasses. So the first one, I'm going to leave it only has a drop. I'm going to leave it the way it is. Second one, I'm going to put a little bit of water. Let's listen and see if we can hear the sound the water makes when they pour out of the bottle too. Okay, we heard a bit of that. Let's hear if it sounds different if we pour even more. So the third glass, I'm going to pour, say, half the glass. So we have empty, nearly empty, a little bit of water, half glass full, and the last one, you guessed it, will be full. So I'm gonna put it almost to the top. Okay, so we have 4 glasses, and now I'm going to take a little teaspoon and gently I'm going to hit it at the top of the glass, not loud, not too strongly, you don't need to, and just see what the sound is like. Could you hear that there was a change in the pitch from the empty one to the full one? Let's do it again. Maybe not such a big difference between the first two, because they were both nearly empty. But when you compared the full one to the empty one, can you hear that it sounds different? So that's this experiment. And on another experiment, we'll take another set of glasses, different sizes this time. So from a large pint glass to a medium normal sort of size wine glass. So that's a pint size. That's a wine glass. That's like a water or any sort of smaller, slightly smaller, and even smaller. So we're placing them here, and this time we're not using any water. We're just exploring the sound that the glass itself has. So the two bigger ones had a pretty strong sound, didn't they? And the other two? I think the other one, this one, if you look at it, it has all those different levels of thickness, and I think that affects the sound. So we now figured out how different glasses of different types and sizes would have different pitches, and also the water will affect the sound of the glass, even if it's the same glass, same size exactly. So if we went through all of them, okay, you got the idea. Just having fun here. Right, the next thing I would like to show you also involves water, but in pots. So I have a small pot here that I sometimes use to heat up milk or water in. It has a little bit of water inside, can you see? And what will happen if I hit the bottom of the pot and move it? Will be quite remarkable. And if I use a bigger pot, also with a little bit of water, it's quite musical. Remember the bottle that we used before to fill our glasses? Now we're going to try and do something else, not involving hitting the bottle, but involving blowing into it. So I'm using the lower lip and blowing from high down. I've got two more bottles here. They're smaller and they have a little bit less water than the other bottle. So the big one sounded like that, quite deep. What will that one sound like? So we can almost play a tune just with blowing those bottles. Here we have an empty bottle, but it's metal and it sounds pretty awesome. It's not glass. Sound really resonates with that one. Spoons can also be used like that. A whisk is a really cool one. Wooden spoons can be good. They can be good on a frying pan, but don't hit too hard because they can break. My daughter broke one when she was using it when we were cheering for the NHS one Thursday night, and the wooden spoon broke. And I've got a couple of other things that are not exactly kitchenware here, but I still like to show it to you. One is, ta-da, it's a ruler. What's a ruler got to do with music? Well, good question. You might have known it already, but a ruler is actually quite musical. So if I put a ruler on top of a desk or a table, and I hold it down, and with my finger basically I go, it's like a little bass. You heard of that song? It's all about the bass. So that's just that, but if I move it at the same time, I can actually change the pitch again. Remember, pitch is quite important in music. So I'm going to try and change it now. So that's the ruler. And lastly, for now, just an ordinary rubber band. It's quite a thick one, which helps because they tend to break if they're not strong. So this one is quite a thick rubber band, and again quite a musical one if you hold it and you play basically with the fingers in that way. So I use it as if it's a string instrument. One finger I use to change the pitch, and the other one is like the one that strums on the guitar or plays with the string on the guitar. The same style of method. And it's a really good way to just experiment and have fun. Not everything will sound musical at first, but if we give it a try, it might be a lot of fun. And remember, not breaking anything. A lot of the sounds are not too loud, so you can actually do it without disturbing your parents or your neighbors or your siblings. They might just wonder, what are you doing? But believe me, it's a lot of fun. So now I'm going to invite a few young people to have a little jam with me, and we'll see you on the other end of that video.
Hello, Anna Atkinson, artist here in my studio, and I thought for today's drawing date we could explore drawing on a 3D mask. And for this you just need one of these simple plain white masks. So get your plain mask. If you can't get a hold of a mask, you can just do a drawing of a skull. You don't have to do it 3D, but I'm going to show you on a 3D one. And you can start with a felt tip pen and simply draw some flowers around the eye sockets. Really simple, really basic kind of flower shapes, so that we get that sense of the eye sockets. And then you can start to decorate a bit more. I'm going to put some dots in mine, and again just doing that one very roughly. And then for the nose, it's a very basic upside down heart shape, so I'm just going to draw it on there so that you can see. It's a little bit wonky, my heart, but it's an upside down heart shape. You can see that. And then for the mouth, it's very simple. These are the three basic things. You've got the flowers around the eyes, you've got the upside down heart on the mouth, on the nose, and then for the mouth, you're just going to draw a line that goes all the way across, like that. And then you're going to add in the teeth. So again, a bit like the flower petals, it's as if you're doing lots of letter ends next to each other. And you don't go all the way, just to the top. And then do the same at the bottom. So you get the effect of the teeth. And again, you can see mine are a bit wonky. And then if you want to, you can add some little scars on the sides to make it look a bit more like scars. And then the rest of the mask is simply to create patterns. And I'm going to show you a lovely example. This is another one where sticking to more black and white, you can see there's some gems been added there, and it's really just doodling. There's a little flower pattern here. It's really a case of just doodling over the whole mask, and then you can use things like paint sticks if you wish, to colour in large areas, so you can, just go for it. And you might want to pick a colour scheme, so you might think, oh, I want black and white and pink on mine, and then you might add some feathers, some ribbon, and this one you can see there is ribbon plaited either side to make it look like hair, and more colourful flowers, and I've done some more detail around the eyes, and this one again has some gems that you could stick on.
So for this week's awesome artist, we are looking at the artist Becky Mcrae. Becky is an art activist, and this means that she uses art to get her point across about issues that she thinks are really important in the world. Becky is particularly interested in the environment, and she would like us to look after the planet better. And she's also interested in just us being kinder and fairer to people. She thinks it's really important that we look after vulnerable people in our society, such as people who don't have as much money or who don't have a proper home. And she would like these people to be treated more fairly and for us to share what we've got. So for very, very rich people, for example, to pay more tax and to share what they've got with people who don't have so much. So this particular artwork is the one that I want to show you. This is a big picture of it, and this is Becky here right next to it. The artwork is called Resist, and it is a giant cake that Becky has made out of wood and other items, and she has decorated it with icing type decoration. You can see up close, and some of these pictures up here show she has, for example, stuck a Barbie and other fun items. She's got like a big round cherry on the top, so it's just like a big fancy cake that you might get. And in this, she's really trying to get across the message that sometimes we are consuming too much. So we're buying too many things that we don't need. We're using up too many resources on the planet. And this is really bad for the environment that we live in. And sometimes we've got to think about resisting and actually not using so much. Some of the ways that we can do this is by recycling and using things that we no longer want in a novel way. So you might make a new bag out of an old t-shirt that you no longer want, something like that. Just simple things like switching off the lights in the rooms that we're not in, or turning the tap off whenever we're brushing our teeth so that we don't use up too much water. So all of these things are the kinds of things that Becky is thinking about when she makes her artwork. But as you can see, the artwork doesn't have to be really serious. This piece of artwork is so fun and playful. I just adore it. I think it's a brilliant idea. So it's a fun and exciting thing to look at, but it's also a way of getting across a message. So I hope that you might feel a little bit inspired, and I'm going to include pictures of this in your worksheet. But yeah, it's just a different way of looking at art and might make you think about how you can make different things and not just the average normal painting or drawing.
So for the next 5 minutes, if you could sit or lie down in a comfortable position, and we're just going to give ourselves a few minutes of peaceful reminder of how we can feel when we just pay attention to our breath and to a state of mind that is happening in the moment. So it's a very peaceful, calming experience. So just find this position where you feel really comfortable, on your own, hopefully, ideally, safe in a room, either on the floor, sitting on a cushion, or lying down. And just as you close your eyes, just tune in to what you can hear around, and I'll play some of those singing bowls to help us calm our breathing. As you take a deep breath in through the nose, hold, and out through the mouth, just concentrate on the very simple movement of your breathing. And you can make a noise as you breathe out. And again. One more. And for the next breath, I would like you to think and say in your head, I am grateful for my body. As you breathe in, think of how you connected to your body and give thanks to your body as you breathe out. Let's exercise this together. In, hold, and out with a sense of gratitude. In, hold, and release out. A couple more times together. For the next one, I'd like to ask you to make a little wish for yourself at this time. Simply give yourself this opportunity to wish for something good. It can be either something you want to do, or something you want to feel, something you want to have, but a general sort of wish for yourself as you breathe and release. And for the next one, the same thing, but for someone else, maybe someone you love, someone in your family, maybe a friend or a teacher, and you're going to have a wish for them, something good you're wishing for them, for that beloved person. As you breathe, bring your intention and breathe out with that thought of good intention for someone. And lastly, say in your head as you breathe, I am safe, I feel calm, I'm okay. Get used to that sort of mantra in your head as you breathe. Let's do it one more time together. I am safe, I feel calm, I'm okay. Thank you.